Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Rocket Rabbit Commentaries run through of Legacy of the Duelist. And in this episode, we're still going through the GX Season 2 stuff with Jaden versus Chazz Princeton while he was under the control of Society of Light. Which is weird because Chazz doesn't actually play all that differently, but he plays a much different deck. As are we playing a much different deck because, Jesus Christ, we have to beat Chazz using the Ojama package, and to be perfectly honest, this is not as difficult as it sounds, but it's very, very annoying.
Well, makes perfect sense. The Ojamas are annoying.
No. It's not the fact the Ojamas are annoying that makes this fight a problem. It's the fact that the Ojamas specifically don't actually have stats unless Ojama Country is on the field, and then, well, they have relatively poor stats.
Yeah, man, here are the Ojamas now. They're handsome. They're in talks with photographers, but they do not know how to defend players.
We gotta wait until Swords of Revealing Light is down before we can actually use it, though.
Got some D-Fusion ready.
D-Fusion is actually a relatively interesting combo with Ojama Country because if you bother to get out King, which Jade can't do, seriously, he's only running Knight. But if you were bothering to run King, what you could do is you could Fusion summon Ojama King with Ojama Country out, attack directly with him for 3k, then D-Fusion for another 3,000 points of damage.
Hell yeah.
It is not a thing that we will be doing.
Select up to 2 monster card zones. Those monster zones cannot be used.
Yes, and now I have to activate Ojama Country to make sure that my Ojama Knight is able to stay on the field.
Switch the original attack and defense of every Ojama you got.
No, of every monster on the field.
White dust on.
No, which is not a card that Chazz Princeton would have had during this time, but oh well. Thanks, Ojama Blue. I'm glad that we actually have the second wave of Ojama support going for us, because otherwise we would probably be trying to win this with the Armed Dragon stuff. But Jaden's deck here does not have the Armed Dragon stuff, so.
The level up system.
Alright, so between the original level up cards, which is your favorite of that series?
I remember the Armed Dragon. Now that you mention it, the Armed Dragon was among our favorites. The Armed Dragon level 5 specifically, with its ability to pop cards on the field, it was awesome. And that you could normal summon it without having to go by Armed Dragon level 3. And then you just may work your way up to Armed Dragon level 7.
White Ninja activates but can't actually kill anything because there's nothing in defense mode at the moment.
Sweet. Ojama Delta Hurricane!
A card I think I'm going to be able to actually activate. Not that it actually matters all that much, because we're already in a pretty massively a more threatening position than what Chazz is.
How do you make an Ojama card exciting? Put exclamation points on it.
Once again, White Ninja fizzles.
So if I've been paying attention, our opponent, Chazz Princeton, has used a Stray Lamb spell on every successive turn for the past 3 turns now.
Well, that means he's out of Stray Lambs.
He's out of Stray Lambs now. Now, he's screwed.
Hey, Sparkman. Okay, have Knight kill his face down, which is the White Tiger Summoner, and then direct attacks. Unfortunately, I can't actually score the D-Fusion hits that I want to because I no longer have enough monster card zones.
Alright, yep, they have to have places to go.
And Glomoss misses, damn it.
I remember when somebody was explaining to me that that was one of the mechanical differences between Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! Saying, so how many monsters can you have on the field? I'm sorry, I mean, how many creatures can you have on the field? And they said, as many as you want. As many as I want, as many as you want.
Okay, so now, how do I actually deal with White Tiger Summoner here? Well, the actual answer is bring back my Ojama Knight, because I can do that. I can use Ojama Country, discarding Ojama Blue in order to special summon Ojama Knight from my graveyard.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I think that, yeah, okay, this does actually trigger Ojama Knight again. As Annotations Gurdette mentions here, the ability to recycle resources with Ojama Country is one of the two major aspects that make this doable, actually winnable for Jaden. But you still need to actually get Ojama Country out, and if you fail to get Ojama Country out, Jaden cannot win this much. He just straight up can't do it. But there we go. We successfully beat Chazz Princeton.
Nice.
And yeah, Jaden doesn't take credit for it because, you know, it would bruise Chazz's ego too much. Alright, now we're going into one of the more comedic duels from the show. This is where Bonaparte and Crowder did a 2v1 duel against Maximilian Pegasus, and they still both lost.
2v1.
Yeah, because due to a communication error between Bonaparte, Crowler, and Shepard, Bonaparte and Crowler believe that they have been fired, which is not the case, but that's what they believe.
Ooh, Diablo 4 update.
Yeah, I was attempting to play Diablo 4 at the time. I have since stopped playing Diablo 4. Not because it's a bad video game, it's actually quite a good video game, but I played through most of the classes that I want to play through with, getting all the way up to 50, and I don't want to do the endgame grinding on it. It's a lot like my previous experiences with Diablo, to be perfectly honest. So, Maximilian Pegasus here is running the third wave of Toon support, which means he gets access to both Toon Kingdom and Mimicat. Mimicat is fucking amazing, but it's also something that I'm not entirely sure how the fuck I'm supposed to use.
When in doubt, just remember the mermaid bats.
Gear Town.
Say, no, this is my town. Say, no, this is my town. No, I was here first.
So, we are gonna summon our Toon Ancient Gear Golem, right? Yeah, because we can use Crowler's Gear Town in order to sacrifice only one monster for it. Waha!
That's flippin' convenient.
Alright, unfortunately, because he is still a Toon monster, he can't attack the turn that he is summoned.
Oh, right. I forgot that Toons have that drawback.
Most of the Toons have that problem. Not all of them, but most of them do. But he is going to use Ancient Gear Drill in order to set a copy of Ancient Gear Fist. He can't use it this turn, thankfully, but...
Too bad. So Toon Kingdom is treated as Toon World while it's on the field.
Yep.
Meaning that we can attack him directly this turn.
Can we, though? Because I don't remember if a Toon Ancient Gear Golem actually has that effect on it. Yes, actually it does. Woot.
Nice. But, however, I would ram the Ancient Gear Golems because he's going to run you over.
But in order for him to actually run me over successfully, he's got to actually equip Ancient Gear Fist, and even then, he can't actually attack my monster.
Well, what do you mean he can't attack it?
He can't attack it.
How come?
I have Toon World out.
Oh, so Toon Kingdom grants that ability?
No, it's not Toon Kingdom that grants that ability. So it's an ability on most of the Toon monsters, if you recall. Toon monsters, while Toon World is on the field, cannot act. Your opponent can. It's on Toon Cannon Soldier here. But while you control Toon World, your opponent cannot attack Toon monsters.
So they can't attack Toons, they can't attack directly. Huh. So
Obviously,
the Toon Kingdom.
Obviously, I'm wrong here because he did just attack our Toon Cannon Soldier, but... explosive. But we win.
Yeah, because now we can just attack him directly for the win. Awesome.
Thank you, Toon Ancient Gear Golem. I do love Toon Ancient Gear Golem, to be perfectly honest. I don't like the fact that it's a Toon monster, but aside from that, it's very, very nice. And yes, this is us. Clearing up the communications issue. Gear Town Engineer and Ancient Gear Fist. Do not sleep on Ancient Gear Engineer for the record. It is actually a very powerful Ancient Gear monster, especially if you can support it with Gear Town.
I love Ancient Gear Engineer. I love most creatures that automatically have protection from spells, traps, or a combination of spells and traps.
Well, that's not the actual point of Engineer. Engineer's primary ability is its recursive ability to destroy spells and traps your opponent controls.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just give it more attack power so we'll actually survive those attacks.
No. All you have to do is actually use its effect. Alright, so...
Sparkman.
We are... This duel is actually a bit more difficult to actually parse through because Alexis is supposed to be using an archetype that specifically uses ice counters, and she actually is using a bunch of monsters that have the ability to generate ice counters at the moment, specifically Blizzard Princess. However, the ice counter archetype very specifically does not have a good ignition monster. So yeah, this ends up being significantly more easy than it's supposed to be, specifically because she can't really, go in and do the explosive things that she is supposed to be doing with the ice counters. It's one of the big problems that the ice counter archetype has as a technicality, because without the ability to freely place ice counters on the field, it's extremely difficult for them to get into their bosses, specifically Blizzard Princess. And it's not Cold Enchanter is one of the better monsters to look at because it allows you to put ice counters on the field, and then it gains attack points every time for each ice counter on the field. But even then, it's not as fast as it's supposed to be.
Ooh, Elements of Hero Neos.
Yes, I discarded Neos via Card Trooper, so now we actually get to see the summoning animation for Neos. Ha-ha!
Nice. Neos does deserve a summoning animation.
It is effectively Jane's Ace monster, so.
Spark Blaster, Sparkman.
Activate Spark Blaster in order to switch her Blizzard Warrior to defense mode.
And then attack it with the weakest monster on the field.
She's still got 200 life points though, and unfortunately, Flare Neos doesn't have a burn effect on it.
She won't have 200 life points left for long.
Also, the only card in our extra deck right now is in fact Flare Neos.
Like, where do you guys get the time to revamp your decks after every duel? I have a hard enough time just remembering to bring my zippered up bag of decks with me whenever I go play.
Well, since they're in a dueling school, they pretty much get a full day in between each of their major duels. Yay, we got a copy of Snowman Eater! Alright, be safe, everybody.